Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to make a video about my new morning practice, and I just had an overwhelming desire to share this with as many people as possible, so I thought it would be best to make a video. Because what happened for me is I've been doing my morning practice for about 3 years straight now. It has definitely served me. If you've been watching my channel, you know what it is. It's usually scripting. Scripting is the #1 morning practice that I recommend to everyone. It's changed my life. Like, it is the most powerful manifestation practice for me. People always ask me what's the most powerful manifestation practice, and I always say it's the one that makes you feel the best, and scripting made me feel the best. Like, I felt really excited and high vibe. I felt like it was really easy for me to get into the feeling of what I wanted through scripting. And it's just served me. Like, I have seen so many massive results in my life due to scripting. And just briefly, scripting is just writing out your day as if it already happened the way you wanted it to. It's basically just getting your subconscious on your side and going into creation mode. Like, what do you want to create? And stretching your mindset, stretching your mentality. And I feel like I got to the point where the scripting had kind of ran out of juice, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like I know it inside and out. It's ingrained in my cells. Like, it's just part of who I am now. And that way of thinking, that kind of creation mode mindset, I've basically programmed myself with that already. So I kind of got this feeling of, when, like, as if, that kind of moment when you just feel like you're too big for your house. Like you're just you've outgrown it, and that's what I felt. So I decided I wanted to like up level. It was like this natural feeling of up leveling. So I sat down and thought about it, like what could I do as a new morning practice that will feel like it will bring me to the next level in my consciousness or my evolution. So I asked myself the question, why do I want to manifest anything? Like, ask yourself the question right now, okay, what do you want to manifest? Is it money? Is it a house? Is it love, a soulmate, a relationship, a car, more freedom, purpose, a new career? Like, why do you want to manifest that? And I sat down and like dug into each of those questions, and the end result was always more happiness. For me anyway, like, that's what came up. I want to be happier all the time. Like, I'm always wanting to progress, and I definitely feel like happiness and progress are linked. So I was like, okay, well then, instead of just wanting to manifest a new house or a new car, why don't I just go straight to the source and manifest more happiness? So I felt like I was kind of getting there with that. And for me as well, the word that popped up when I was thinking about this is satisfaction, satisfied. Because again, as soon as you manifest your soulmate, it's wonderful, it's a beautiful experience. You have what you wanted, but then you have a new desire straight away. I'm sure you know that yourself. Like, as soon as I manifested my husband, like, I was basking in that energy. I felt so grateful. But then I was like, okay, now I want a house together. It's just like a natural human instinct. So the word satisfied, it's like, okay, I want to embody satisfaction. Like, as soon as I manifest something and I want something else, when does it ever end? So it's like, you can and I can always want more, but it's the feeling of satisfaction that we're after. And for me, this was just such a big revelation, just a moment of pure clarity, like straight to the source. All I want to do is manifest satisfaction. So with that, my new morning practice, and I really want to like share this with you, maybe you can try it yourself if it sounds exciting, and it sounds crazy, but just decide to be satisfied. Have you actually tried that? Like, I asked myself the question, have I actually tried to just decide to be satisfied? Have I done that? No, like, I didn't just sit down and be like, okay, I'm going to be like satisfied right now. It's like, we have the power to do this. Like, everything is in our power. So every morning what I do now is I set an alarm for 30 minutes and I dedicate the time to just feel satisfaction. And the first thing that came up for me is like, okay, yeah, I'm satisfied. I manifested my husband. I have a beautiful home. I have financial freedom. You know, they're like great things to be satisfied about, but that's not what I was after, because I want that feeling of self-satisfaction, pure joy just for existing, just for being, just feeling my own presence, because all these things can come and go. And when your happiness is in them, your happiness is attached to these external sources. So it's not really true. It's not real happiness. Your happiness is dependent on something else outside. And I want to feel that happiness and satisfaction from within. So that's what I decided to practice. I let all that fall away, like my husband, the house, the money fall away, and just tune into the sensation in my body, the feeling of being alive, the feeling of being me. What does that feel like? And I just would say the word self-satisfaction. I am satisfied. I'm choosing right now to be satisfied. And then I just stopped, became present, and just listened and felt. And I would say within the first 10 minutes, it was a lot of kind of like allowing these thoughts to fall away. And after about 10 minutes, what it felt like to me is this just deep sense of satisfaction just coming over my entire being, my entire body. I just felt like this beautiful, subtle yet powerful feeling of joy and happiness and satisfaction. And I just was like, wow, like we actually can do this without needing anything to change. Like absolutely nothing needed to change. I'm having like 3 or 4 issues going on in my life at the moment that I'm struggling with, as well as the wonderful things that are happening. There's a few things that I'm still working on that I feel like difficult and challenging, and it was like I can still feel this joy without needing those challenging things to change. I don't need my problems to go away. The problems are still here, but yeah, I can feel this joy and satisfaction in the now moment. And it was just beautiful. And then what I decided to do, and I think this is another powerful thing, is I wanted to anchor in that feeling. So with that, I decided to do a handstand because I want to master something. Us being in lockdown at the moment in Ireland, I wanted to like use the time in a way that would feel like I can master something, but without putting a lot of pressure on myself to do like massive workouts or something, because that can be like really triggering for me. So I did like a handstand, practiced it. I lasted like 3 or 4 seconds, but it felt so good because I was feeling that satisfaction as I flipped myself up on the wall into a handstand, and it was like it locked that feeling in. Then the next day, day 2, I did it again, and as soon as I did that handstand, that pure satisfaction came over my body again, because I was creating a direct like neural pathway to that feeling. Again, it's like we're programming ourselves with this, like, and it's possible, you know, we can do this. Like, I'm sure you've heard about like adverts on TV like programming you or brainwashing you. Like, why not use the power to hack your own brain? Use your brain to trick itself in your favor, you know, like to empower yourself. So I think I'm like maybe over a week into this practice, and not only has my handstand improved, but the satisfaction that I'm getting to is coming so much quicker. I sit down, I sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be satisfied right now. I'm deciding to be satisfied, and the feeling starts to wash over me. My thoughts start to slow down. Easier access. It's like a muscle that you're building. And the best part is, like, my whole life, nothing has changed since I started this practice, but I feel like a completely different person. I feel like I am more able to manage like the difficult times when they come up, because I know I can always find my way to satisfaction. I was walking down the street, like just on a walk, and I just started like jumping and exclaiming for joy. Like, it just washed over me. Like, I felt so much happiness, like overwhelming joy. I was just skipping down the street. People looked at me, probably thought I was crazy, but it was just like, I just feel happy. And I started to search in my head, like, okay, why do I feel happy? And I was like, there's no reason. I can't find a reason why I feel happy. It's just there. It's just for no reason. Happiness for no reason. And it's like, okay, well, if I can do that, then no matter what happens, if the reasons are taken away, I can still get to that place. It's possible. So I'm not like saying, you know, like, oh, you can just decide to be happy and it's going to be easy. It's different for everyone, but I recommend you just try it, see what happens. Sit down for like 20 minutes and just decide to be satisfied. Let the mind fall away, focus on your body, breathe, notice the emotions that are coming up, notice the thoughts that are coming up, and just allow them. And just keep reminding yourself of the word satisfaction. I'm deciding to feel satisfied. Notice what comes up. I had a lot of resistance where I was like, oh yeah, but you know, I'm really struggling with this thing. Or like, oh yeah, like I'm still working on like my body love, for example. And like, I haven't completely mastered that yet. Like, there's still moments for me that will come up. And I notice the voice in my head, like wanting to come back. But then what I do is I love that voice. I notice the voice and I say, well, this voice is part of me, the voice that's telling me like, oh, what if you know, your self-doubt comes back, you know? And then I love that voice, and that also just like overpowers it and evaporates it, integrates it back into me. So it was like this resistance coming up of like, yeah, but what if, or like, this thing is really challenging in your life. And it's just that moment of like sitting with it, seeing the voice, and just deciding to continue, like deciding to be like, no, I'm going to be satisfied anyway. So it took a little bit of discipline, but it is so worth it. Like, God did it pay off. Like, I feel just so wonderful, and I'm just so excited to see where this takes me, because I'm doing it every day. I'm excited to go to sleep so I can wake up and do this practice. Like, that's how much it's impacted my life. And for anyone that's in lockdown, it's like, this is something you can do to find excitement and joy and self-development and progress without needing anything in the world to change right now. It's like finding that happiness within. And for me, that's the most powerful thing like that can ever happen in the whole universe. And it feels good. So that's like a good kind of incentive to do it. Like, I'm telling you, it feels good. So I know that this is a bit out there, and I hope I did a good job of explaining myself, because it's still new to me, but I just really felt this urge to share it in case someone else, it's going to help someone else. And I just want to share this feeling that I'm having of satisfaction with like everyone. So yeah, definitely, if you have questions about it, if you have questions about the practice, or if you have any questions about anything I spoke of, or anything resonated with you, definitely let me know. Leave a comment or send me a message. I'll be delighted to hear from you, delighted to help. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you all so much, and I just wish you all the happiness and satisfaction in the world.